Welcome, welcome. This is episode 1 of What I'm Learning series. The purpose of this is twofold. One, it's a way to share what I'm learning, and hopefully for someone out there, it's useful. I hope these notes help you with your journey. If they do, awesome. But more importantly, two, it's a way for me to reflect and to say it out into the world. Oftentimes I just talk to myself just to get out of my head. I talk to myself as I process things. It helps me, again, get out of the thought system out here and speak it into the world. And I think it's what better way than speaking into a camera and a mic. And if I ever wanted to watch these, I could. These are just reflections. I reflect in other ways, like journaling. But I figured, why not? The more ways I can reflect, the better, because as someone with ADHD, and even I think most people in the world right now, there's just so much going on. And I can't process things efficiently. I just can't unless I revisit material over and over again. I don't think that's a sign that I'm dumb. It's just how my brain works. So that's what this series is for. It's for everyone out there that's on their own path, and especially if if you're someone who has ADHD, then this is really for you. So I'm 32. One thing I've always put to the back burner in my life and kind of just skimmed over, even though I've heard this before, is the importance of systems. So what does that look like in the context of your life or your business? Systems is a very overarching and general word, right? For me, what I'm learning is, I'll use my business as an example. I took the time to set up a system to start tracking my daily tasks every day, or my daily, what I need to hit every day in terms of like 3 to 4 high leverage tasks. So for example, my goal, let's say, is to find more clients, right? For my copywriting business. I'm trying to find more clients. All right, what are 3 things I need to do every day? Well, let's say I need to send out 4 proposals on Upwork. Okay. I need to send out 10 DMs on LinkedIn. And because it's important to engage on a social platform, I need to comment 5 times every day. And the way it's tracked is not through the day, but through the week. And you can actually use ChatGPT, or really, I mean, you can just do it on Google Sheets on your own. But if you want like ChatGPT to create a spreadsheet for you, it's very easy. And what it'll do is it'll help you track weekly how you're doing. I got this concept from a book called The 12-Week Year. It's about categorizing your life in 12 weeks instead of a year, which helps your mind process how important each day is. Because when it's in the context of just 12 weeks, it's a lot, like everything becomes a lot more urgent than a year. Everything becomes more real than a year, than 365 days versus, again, about 90 days. So I recommend that book. And that's kind of where I'm getting this whole week thing from, right? But back to the systems, back to my point. When I'm able to look and see how I'm doing every day, and by the end of the week, if I'm hitting 80, 90%, not only is that a way to get a dopamine hit and, positively reinforce things, in my brain that, okay, if I do this work, I'm going to eventually, get to where I want to get because I'm being consistent. So it gives me that, but it not only does it give me that dopamine hit, but it also gives me that sense that I'm making progress, that I'm actually being consistent. It's not just a sense, it's actually empirical proof right in front of you. So that's one system I'm implementing right now. And it's kind of embarrassing, maybe you could say, but I'm not embarrassed about it. But it took me this long to start implementing that. And I've been running a business for 2+ years now, 2.5, whatever. And it took me that, until this point, I've been finding clients here, finding clients there, doing the work, but not being consistent with my business development, right? So I'd go like this. Ooh, oh, cool. I'm okay, 7K this month. Oh, we're at 2K now. We're at 1K, because I focused on delivering, without focusing on actually the other half of running your business, right? As a freelancer or as a business owner, which is lead generation, marketing, processes, systems, all that stuff. Your skill, upskilling, these things make you more valuable with time. So learning how to put those all neatly, or at the very least starting with a way to track what things related to your goal or your goals, man, that is so freaking dude, if you have fucking ADHD especially, and you don't have systems in place, you're not tracking, you're cooked. You're cooked, my brother in Christ. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. I don't mean to sound negative, but it's just how the human mind works. Especially you might be successful in some ways, but your potential is stifled to a degree that is ineffable. You can't even comprehend how much you're missing out on. And by the way, I'm a fellow sailor. I'm just like you. I'm not coming at you from an angle, for those that are watching this, that I know more. I'm learning this, and my brain, I just feel like, even though not every day is going to be perfect, my brain can actually, I have more organization in my life. It's crazy. One thing in relation to this was, for the last 2-3 years, people would be like, "Hey, Omar, what are you doing? What are you doing this weekend? What are you doing?" And I'd always say, working. I'm working. And I was reflecting on that. I was like, why the fuck do I always say that? Because sometimes I'm barely working. I'm barely, I'm throughout the whole week, I'm 40% working. I'm not 100% or 90% locked in and then taking time off. And that's what systems does, right? The first system we talked about was tracking your KPIs, your key performance indicators, or whatever you want to call them, right? Forget the labels and the fancy words. That scared me for so long. Just get started with tracking. Start with 3 things that are related to something you want to do. It doesn't need to be something that you know for sure is the end-all be-all of your life. Don't let things like that stop you from taking action. Just figure out, okay, maybe you're a freelancer, maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you want to land your first client, whatever. Figure out what it is you want to do, and then figure out what 3 high leverage things are. You can use AI to help you brainstorm. That's, not an issue, but some of them will be more straightforward than not, right? So figure out where you're at, what results you want, and figure out how to get there, okay? And iterate along the way. That's the biggest thing. As someone, I don't know if this is more ADHD or if this is more of a overthinking thing, which might be tied with it. Don't go for perfection. The more you think about, like, it needs to be perfect right off the bat, the more you're going to spend time trying to get it perfect, and the more you're going to procrastinate because you'll find that there's no such thing as that. So it's more important to just get started. So the two biggest things, again, number one, track your week. Set up a spreadsheet and track your freaking week. Literally, this could change your life. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I think most people don't do this, but even if you work for someone else or whatever it is you do, you need to start tracking things that are important to you. Because everything in your life comes down to your habits, your day-to-day. Your consistency is what leads to where you want to get. If you are not consistent, which is something I struggled with my whole life, if you aren't consistent, then you won't get to that point, right? One thing in my life that I've always been consistent with for the last 7 years has been jiu-jitsu. And I've gotten to pretty cool places because of that. But some things in life, it's harder to categorize. It's harder to just do consistently, maybe because you feel more inner resistance. For me, jiu-jitsu was something that always came very naturally to me. I just loved doing it. But that doesn't come easy with everything else, like with business. Sure, I love certain parts of business, but I need to hold myself accountable for those days that I'm feeling this resistance. So again, one, track your week, and two, time block. Time block, time block, time block, time block. Okay? This is, again, so important. You need to set 2-3 hours sometime this week or at some point, and you need to figure out everything that you have in that spreadsheet. Now put it into your Google Calendar or whatever you use to track your days, to time block your day. And you have to take this seriously. Again, you're not going to be perfect. Strive with your calendar to get that 80% accuracy, like by the end of the day. You might not even line up with like, hey, I need to finish this by this time. Like today I'm off on my time, but I will tell you this, by the end of my day, everything that I need to get done that I will track will get done. That is non-negotiable for me. Will it be perfect? Fuck no, it's not going to be perfect. It's never perfect, but I will do it. And if there's certain things I need to iterate along the way, I can always do that. Certain findings that say, oh, maybe I should track this a little differently. That's okay too. But calendar, time block, time block, time block, time block. Let's say for me, right, 50% of my time, just another example here, 50% of my time is business development. Okay? Marketing, systems, upskilling, like processes, like making my offer better, right? Seeing like research, what are some problems I could solve, right? Within my niche that aren't being solved yet. How can I package that? These kinds of things, right? And I'm doing that in 2 time blocks. I have a time block A, time block B, 2 hours each. So that's every day. 4 hours for me, business development. The following 4 hours, delivery, client delivery, people I'm already working with. It's an important switch, right? Starting with business development, but that's a video for another day. So, and then for me, I train six times a week, 6 days a week. So, and I'm lifting as well. So I have to figure out what classes I want to go to and when I'm lifting jiu-jitsu classes, right? Because I have jiu-jitsu goals as well. I have that's a whole other thing. But so those are the 2 biggest things that I'm learning. You got to have data. You have to have data. My God, I cannot stress this enough. For whoever's watching this, if you have neglected, like I did for the last decade, tracking things because, I don't know, some sort of resistance or fear or overcomplication or perfection, you need to take that as seriously as drinking enough water in the day. And that is not hyperbole. Time block. track, time block. Do these two things and watch how much more focused and more motivated and how much easier it's going to be to know what you need to do every day, which lowers decision fatigue, lowers context switching. So when you know what those things are, it's going to be easier to do what you need to do. That's all for what I learned, what I'm learning. Episode 1. Thank you so much and have a great day. Peace.